Alright, playing some more Troll Food. If you haven't seen the deck, go check it out. It's all about big creatures in the Great Henge, and as the name says, food. So, Feasting Troll King, big player here. 6 mana, 7/6, makes food, comes back with food. He's just a guy that likes food. Turn 1 Goose, turn 2 Crumbs. I still like to find a third land, but we are on the draw, so that should come pretty easily. Because turn 1 Goose can, on turn 2, actually do the Trail of Crumbs trick. So we'll keep that. Where you sack a food, make a mana, use the mana, resolve the Trail of Crumbs, put a card to hand. And it is put a card to hand, not draw a card, which happens against Narset as a big deal. Find our opponent going to 6. So if I see it go to 5, I start to worry that they're super heavy aggro. We have a mid-range-ish answer for some medium aggro, not full-on in our face, though. Goose blocks 1/1s. Going to 5. I'm thinking mono red. Nope. Just someone that didn't like his hands. Hey, look! They have geese, too. We'll probably Elspeth Nightmare their geese on turn 2. Just to keep them off their mana, since they went down to 5. And to dress, see what they got. Yep. Trail comes, big deal. Still probably going to Elspeth Nightmare them, even though we could follow suit and do the same trick. If we do the same trick, then the turn after we could Wicked Wolf their goose. Or they could Wicked Wolf our goose first. I kind of like the Nightmare, I really do. Problem is... yeah, we'll do the Nightmare. Let's punish them for going down to 5. So, you'll get to see the goose trick from them doing it, not by us doing it. Sack a treasure, sack a food, make a mana. Pay for the trail trigger. Things we're looking to hit with Elspeth's second thing, the dress part. I don't know. Jund Food's not going to be running too much. So Elspeth's Nightmare might come out against them game 2. But this way we at least get to see what they're working with. Now they can also do the food trick again. Okay. Okay. So we actually hit something. We're happy with that. So we should have done the goose trick first in case the land we pull up is a tap land. Problem is now at this point we're probably just going to save this food to activate the Wicked Wolf. So either if we don't draw a land, we use the food to make the wolf fight the devil. If we do find a land, we use the food to make him indestructible. Cards that come in against this deck, second game, Cry the Carnarium. The 1 Assassin's Trophy we have. I think that's about... oh, the Spectre Shriek. Elspeth Nightmare. Oh, pardon me. Probably comes out. Okay. Hitting my Trail of Crumbs, I would hope, or to guess if they know what they're doing. No blocks. They might actually do it just to hit the food. They see me cast the wolf. Seems silly, but I could maybe see it. Okay, kill my goose if they wanted to by sacking their Thrashing Brontodon. Mayhem Devil has to go. Like, getting punished for us sacrificing our own food is just the worst. Okay, so they can still kill the goose. Hit the goose and the trail of crumbs. Okay, they're just going for face. They get a swing in for a 3-4 next turn. But the Mayhem Devil is gone. Yeah! Alright, so we're attacking with a 0-2. There's not much to think about, dude. Just take the hit. Okay. Alright, this is where we need one more land for Return of the Wild Speaker. They're digging. Now, if we think they have instant speed removal, Return of the Wild Speaker is dangerous because we have no food to make our Wicked Wolf indestructible. But I think we're pretty safe saying 5 mana, draw 4. And we're fine being a little defensive until we get our Feasting Troll King out. Ooh, that would be nice. 1 mana shy for everything. Only reason to do this now is just in case they have... I mean, we can do it in response to everything, but I guess what it does is gives them a chance to sack their Thrashing Bronzodon to get rid of it on that last turn. It's probably not the best thing to do it now, but when they're out of mana, felt safer to do. Alright, opponent gives up. Maybe prematurely, maybe not. I mean, we are great henging next turn, so... Because next turn, henge and just start tapping it for 2 life. Okay, so they have Casualties of War. That's a good reason to maybe bring in a Duress. But that's like all it hits. So maybe not the best thing. Destroying their Trail of Crumbs is a big deal. They have probably cats, so we'll bring in the Cry of the Carnarium. Legion's End doesn't hit anything. Vraskogari Queen does hit their Mayhem Devil, and Assassin's Trophy hits the Mayhem Devil. Against them, problem is we run an artifact, we run an enchantment, we run creatures, we run lands. The Casualties of War kicks our butt. So maybe 1 Duress and hold it till the appropriate time. Kroll Harpooner trades for the Mayhem Devil. It also gets destroyed by the Mayhem Devil pretty easily, so it's 6s on whether we keep it in. Rotting Regisaur, I don't think they run... Normally we take this out against black decks. Actually, we take this out against this deck because they can block it with their cat really easily. So, like, they just block it with a cat and it does nothing. Elspeth's Nightmare, like we said, doesn't hit much. Oops, not the Cry. Doesn't hit much. It's just a really slow Duress. We'll keep the 1 Duress for his Casualties of War late game. If we find it, maybe... No, we don't want a 2nd Duress. It'll bog down our hand too much. If we get Casualties of War, and it's really bad, it's because we're ahead, because we have the Henge out and a Trail of Crumbs. Eat for the Mayhem. Wicked Wolf for the Mayhem. Shifting Ceratops is just a big body, and we got rid of our Regisaur, so we like a big body, so it's probably the... Well, Harpooner eats geese. He has geese. We like the Harpooner. What am I thinking? Ditch 3 cards and do it quick. 2 Return of the Wild Speakers, and a Ceratops. Ceratops is probably a mistake. No. Trail of Crumbs. Ceratops, go. That timer at the top has surprised me a couple times because it's like, oh, by the way, you're done. I was like, I had a little bit of bar left. And it's like, nope. Too slow. It's a slow Regisaur with the Temple. Castle, we like to see things to kill his Mayhem Devil. Rotting Regisaur is probably not going to come out right away. because we're probably going to want to play it when we think we can play the Return of the Wild Speaker shortly after. Yeah, come on, Goose. We're scrying with Temple for a Cruel Harpooner. Hey, check it out. Wasn't that sweet? It's always nice to know when you go to scry, like you need to know your deck and know what you're looking for so that when you scry or surveil, you're not like tempted by the wrong card. So like if you're looking for lands, you need to tell yourself before you even look, I want nothing but land. And if it's not a land, you ditch it. That way you're not as easily like side tricked into be like, oh, but it's this. Like we wanted a Cruel Harpooner. That was the best thing we could find because like even though he gets to do the trick and replace himself, he no longer has a Goose. Legion's End could have come in for the geese and the cats if he doesn't have the oven. We haven't actually seen a cat. I'm assuming he has a cat, just because that's the Jund sacrifice I know. But Legion's End, it'll hit a cat, but it won't hit a cat that's got an oven in play. So it's nice to be able to remove their early plays, but oh, if there's not an oven right behind it, yeah. See, Legion's End, I don't feel bad not putting it. I should have taken the Rotting Regisaur out. Didn't I take him out? Oh, we didn't keep our... Oh, no. We don't have our sideboard. I was too slow. Because we took Rotting Regisaurs out. So... This feels really bad. Like... This is what you... I told you that bar. We saw me click the button. I said I saved it. It did not save. No attacks. Because, like I said, this Rotting Regisaur, the Cauldron Familiar just stops it. But Rotting Regisaur is going to allow us to play the Great Henge next turn. And we'll have, if we draw land enough to do the Wicked Wolf, to kill a Mayhem Devil or something if he plays it. Things we're discarding next turn, probably the Murderous Rider. Because Great Henge is our beauty play, Wicked Wolf is an interactive that we like better than Murderous Rider, and the Eat to Extinction, because Murderous Rider, they just cat in response. Wicked Wolf, if they cat in response, we still get our wolf. Like Murderous Rider's going to fizzle. And the Eat to Extinction is just more powerful than the Murderous Rider, I would say. And easier to cast just because it's not double black pip. And we don't even have double black mana yet. So Murderous Rider is the thing we ditch to the Regisaur. And if we draw land, it's Henge, Wicked Wolf, fighting the Mayhem Devil, and the Henge will give the Wicked Wolf one extra counter before it fights. So, yeah. Problem is he has 1, 2. So we can kill our Harpooner. He's going to do it in response to us targeting his devil. Because luckily he can't kill the wolf. Oh, I mean he can kill the wolf. Like he'll trade here. But he can't kill the wolf before the fight, I don't think. He'd have to have another cat in the graveyard or some such. Okay, and then we're going to cast the Return to Wild Speaker on our upkeep. And then he blocks with the cat. Blocking the Regisaur. Jund Sacrifice, awesome deck by the way. Wish we had sideboarded. It'd be really nice to have not a Regisaur. Although the Regisaur did the Henge, so it's hard to say no to it, but at the same time... Eat to Extinction the Corvold is probably next turn. We might wait a turn on Return of the Wild Speaker. Because on our upkeep we'll have 6 mana. Probably just discard the Temple of Malady, Eat to Extinction his Corvold, and then wait a turn after for to turn the Wild Speaker. The problem is if he hand hates us with an Agonizing Remorse or a Duress, then suddenly this draw 7 cards disappears. And drawing 7 cards, if you didn't know, is a pretty big deal. I hope you all know that. 7 cards is your opening hand. Like, that's going to be a big deal to us. So it's whether or not the Corvold, we think he could run away with a Corvold in play, and I think he kind of can. So we'd rather just eat to extinction the Corvold as soon as possible. Problem is with the Oven, he automatically draws a card from Corvold. I mean, he draws a card for an entering, then he draws a card for an exiting. So Corvold is very good. It's another reason to keep the Cruel Harpooners in the deck. Is late game we can have enough creatures in graveyard that our Cruel Harpooner can actually fight the Corvold and kill it. So I think we discard the Temple. We're fine with that. And we'll hold the other land in hand, just in case he has a discard effect, I guess. So he sacks and draws. And then sacks and draws again. See, and that came out. The seeing these sideboard cards is slightly obnoxious. Maybe play the Swamp. If he hand hates us, he hand hates us, and there's nothing we're going to be able to do about it. Like, I think he's more interested in progressing his own board. He's taking 3 damage a turn right now. He's gaining 1 life a turn, so he's netting losing 2 a turn. And as you can see, he didn't bring the cat out right away because with the Oven tapped, the cat is vulnerable to like Legion's End or other exile removal. Okay, now we can kill my Harpooner. He's got 3 sacrifices? 4? Cat into play, cat to graveyard, cat into play, and Fabled Passage. So he has 4 damage showing with Mayhem Devil. He's probably going to spend the mana to draw cards, because he's got the late game on us if we don't speed this up a bit. And the Henge and the Return of the Wild Speaker is how we speed this up. If we draw a Duress, oh, we don't have the Duress because we didn't sideboard. Okay, so yeah, right now is when we want the Duress because he might have a Casualties of War and we have a Henge out. So danger, Will Robinson. He does have mana for an Assassin's Trophy. Okay, we're happy to see a Goose, because we do not want him to interact with the Rotting Regisaur on our upkeep. Draw cards with greatest powers amongst non-humans you control. I control a 7/6. Does that count for 7 cards, please? Thank you. Alright. Things we want to keep and things we don't want. So if we shock ourselves, we can play the Goose, well, the Goose and the Crumbs. So we probably ditch the Malady, because we like Rider, Return, and Feasting Troll King. Play the Goose first because it draws us cards just to see what's going on. Now the problem is he can kill... The Geese is going to come in as a 3, but he can still do a lot of damage with that Mayhem Devil to kill it. But any damage he does to the Goose is damage he's not doing to our face. Probably shouldn't have shocked it in because it's probably better for us just to play the Goose again. But c'est la vie. Or magic. So I think we actually stay on defense. because we don't want a 3/3 Mayhem Devil hitting us in the face, and the cat just successfully blocks the Regisaur. The lack of trample on the Regisaur is what's making that cat so strong right now. Two ovens equals 4 sacrifice damage and 2 direct damage, so he's threatening us with 6 damage a turn. We're gaining 2 life a turn, so netting 4, so we have 4 turns left at current stalemate. So we have to get the Mayhem Devil off the board as quick as possible, which our Murderous Rider would have done. We should have cast the Murderous Rider. I didn't even pay attention. I think we had black. Because I would like to kill the Mayhem Devil with Murderous Rider. That would have been better than the Goose. The Goose in the trail. If we had only one Feasting Troll King, I could see him more likely hitting the Troll King. He also didn't like us drawing a bajillion cards, so okay. Another thing we can do next turn is we could discard a Feasting Troll King, cast a Feasting Troll King, bring back the other Feasting Troll King from the graveyard. That nets us 3 draw triggers from Trail of Crumbs as well. So how much mana do we have next turn? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. So we can do a Feasting Troll King and the Murderous Rider, or Feasting Troll King and the other Feasting Troll King and draw 3 cards. I think we have to Murderous Rider next turn. So we might still ditch a Feasting Troll King and cast the other one, but not bring the second one back from the graveyard. And he's threatening to kill our Henge next turn. But the Mayhem Devil, like I said, represents 4 damage on its own. Discard a card. Sure. Don't need to do anything first. First and foremost, do 2 damage to ourselves. If it resolves, it's not going to resolve. Yeah, resolve. This is going to be a long little back and forth of just Jun doing his thing. See, I'd be tempted to bring back the second Feasting Troll King from the graveyard this turn if I had more mana to respond to the Trail of Crumbs triggers. Got himself another oven, which represents more damage to us. We're going to have to actually eat food sooner rather than later. Jun sacrifice spinning his wheels. Would have been nice to have our sideboard. Doo-doo-doo. Two damage to ourselves puts us at 6. So it's actually puts us to 8 with a Henge. Him just cycling cats next turn is 2 damage. If he gets a top decks a Mayhem Devil, that's another 4, that's 6. So it's not quite lethal. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's only 6. He can swing in 7, so he can threaten 7 damage. Math is definitely an integral part of this game, y'all. So I could play the Goose, or I could just Feasting Troll King and trail Crumbs once is what I think we'll do. We just need this game to end sooner rather than later because he is threatening us with all sorts of damage. Goose draws this card. Lochthwain is just a land that we haven't played this turn. More mana is always nice. I think drawing deeper into the deck is better. And Gilded Goose makes a food. Swinging in with the Regisaur is actually what he wants because it kills one of his cats and he has an extra food lying around. And then he can sack the food to bring in the cat to dig one deeper with his Trail of Crumbs. So we're actually not going to swing. I guess he could do that with a goose anyway. But this way we take one less damage in the exchange from the cat entering. Alright, so we're threatening 16 damage on him next turn. Not quite lethal with his amount of mana and the fact that he's doing the cat dance. So he's doing the cat dance now to dig deeper in his deck because he's looking for a Mayhem Devil or some way to trash our face because this is his window of opportunity. Next turn we can start eating food. So he's just doing the cat dance. He's still leaving up mana to do the Thrashing Brompton on Killer Henge. Our Henge represents 2 life a turn, so it's a big deal for him to get rid of. We are so near dead, it's not even funny. Like, if this is a Mayhem Devil this next time, I think he's out of sacks though, so... No, because he still hasn't played Fabled Passage yet. So that's 1 extra damage there. It's going to get close. There's the Mayhem Devil. So he can play the Mayhem Devil, play the Fabled Passage, play the cat, sacking the Fabled Passage, putting me at 3. He's got another oven. Okay. So we have to gain a lot of life next turn or kill him. We can't kill him. So we have to gain a lot of life next turn. Resolve. Discarding. Trail of Crumbs makes food. Goose makes food. Goose makes food and draws a card. Trail of Crumbs means when we eat food we do things, but we don't necessarily want to spend mana right now. We'll probably play the Henge just for 2 life. So, we tap the Henge for 2 green. We play a second Henge. We gain 2 life. Like, it was just discarded. I mean, the card was gain 2 life. That's all it was. So, we need to eat 2 food before the Mayhem Devil hits the field. So that's 4 mana. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we could play the Feasting Troll King and do that. I think we just eat the food now, see what we get. Do we draw cards? I think drawing cards is the correct thing to do right now. We'll pay it black. So we're just trying to get our life total above lethal, because right now, and we're also trying to draw an answer for that Murderous Rider. Or not the Murderous Rider. We want a Murderous Rider. Try to draw an answer for the Mayhem Devil. One, two, three, 4. So don't need the castle anymore. Goose draws a card. So right now, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's got 9 damage showing for next turn against us. And that's just because of the sack of food, get life, draw a card. Yeah, that's the right thing to do. Both of us decks are just doing the dig thing. Scrying is probably not as useful as just untap land at this point. We also just need lands to ditch to the Rotting Regisaur. So I think we want to leave back a blocker. He has no way to sack him, but he has an open food. So again, the same thing is if he might block with a cat anyway, but so if we swing in like this, he kills off one of his cats. He brings it back with sacking the food. Rotting Regisaur just does 1 extra damage. So do we want to do 1 damage to him or prevent 1 damage to us? We want to prevent 1 damage to us. So 2 attacks. Okay, so he's going to try to kill us on this next turn. If he gets a second Mayhem Devil, he can do it. He does not have double red, though. I guess he does with the Goose. And with a Fabled Passage. And we kind of played our hand out trying to dig to show him that we don't have a response, but that's okay. What do we say? 3 per oven? So 9, 10 damage is what he does to us this turn? +1 if he does a thrashing. So, at this point, you never know. I might just fast forward to when it's our turn again because he's going to be a while casting all this stuff. So our next turn, we play a Castle Garenbrig. We play a Goose. We probably actually activate a Castle Garenbrig and play a Goose. Because we'll probably cast a Feasting Troll King afterwards. Oh no, we got enough green mana open. We could just maybe do the Goose first, see what we draw. So next turn we're swinging 16. Play Goose, see what we draw. So he can get Corvold really, really big right now. So he has 1, 2, 3, 4 more sacrifices. That puts Corvold up to a 9. We would like to draw an answer to Corvold. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to do the Goose trick. Because if we kill Corvold, swing in 16, he gains 2 life, he goes to 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 16. We have lethal. If we kill Corvold, we have lethal. So we want to dig for... We just need to go through our deck as quickly as possible. Corvold does not have trample, but he can kill our flyers on the way in. So, yeah. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for Feasting Troll King. No, I think we just sack the food. He can kill our Goose if he's determined to. Harpooner. Is that enough to kill him? 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess it says right here 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's enough to actually put some damage on him. So we'll actually play it. It'll force him to do his sacrifice dance as well if he wants Corvold to be bigger. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There. Should have tapped a castle. Now he can respond to this by killing the Cruel Harpooner with his artifact dance. He's trying to kill our flying blockers right now. I don't think he realizes that Cruel Harpooner has reach. Or that we're threatening lethal on him. Or like, he's got a block with Corvold, I think. I may be wrong. I may have done my math wrong. Yeah, he's going to try to kill us next turn with his Corvold. But I'm pretty sure he has to block Corvold. Did the henge go... Oh, the henge went backwards. Well, that's awkward. If these were in reverse order. It's okay. Trample damage is still a thing. So we can play this and eat the food, which we can do after combat. So 16 trample. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. My math puts him at 1, and Corvold's dead. So that 1 extra damage. Oh, he didn't block with everything, so he just dies. Not realizing that Feasting Troll King is trample. I guess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It would have been perfect lethal. Anyway, talk about sacrifice decks. Trail of Crumbs. There was crumbs going everywhere. Hansel and Gretel they weren't lost in the woods. They were, I don't know, mapping the woods, going coast to coast. Like the woods went everywhere. Anyway, Trail of Crumbs, lots of them. Gonna open ourselves a pack. Perforos Intervention. We'll try to build around that someday. But anyway, this was Troll Food versus Jund Sacrifice. A lot of fun. Really long and outstretched, so we'll see about maybe trimming some of those down. Have fun, y'all.